I think we're live. John Melton coming to you live with another episode of Money Monday. And let's talk today about being stuck. In fact, I don't think some of you are stuck. No. I think you're uninspired. I think that's your issue. And we're going to talk about it today. You're too fixated on what's not working. You're too up in your head. You got that analysis paralysis. So I'm going to help you today get unstuck. I'm going to help you move forward and start to create some momentum in your business, in your life, all the things that are most important to you. I know you're on this episode because you want to get positive motion and action in your business. You want to see growth. You want to get out of that stinking thinking, that analysis paralysis mentality. So we're going to talk about it today. I think it's really, really important that you share this with anybody you know that's in network marketing, anybody that you know that is an entrepreneur and they want to win in business. And first off, I want to start with gratitude. Why? Because I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the life I have. In fact, I got COVID last week. Yes, I tested positive with COVID. I'll tell you the story in a second. But, it really puts things in perspective. It really puts things in perspective. And, I had to be stuck in my bedroom the last week. But it really put things in perspective. Number one, super grateful for my health. That's number one. I think we can all agree nothing's more important than our health. And, being healthy and being, youngish. Obviously, I knew I didn't have anything to worry about, but I wasn't feeling real great on Sunday and Monday. Got tested on Tuesday. I did the rapid test first. Got that back within like an hour, and it said I was positive. Nadya's test was negative. So then I went back. Her and I went back and did the more extensive test, and that test I tested positive and Nadya tested negative. Completely unfair. But we had to quarantine, so I've been stuck in my bedroom the last week, little over a week now. And some people are like, oh my gosh, is it really all that serious? Other people are like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Right? You get all these different responses, and the bottom line is people really care. Thank you for all the nice wishes and messages. And, pretty much I was sick the first couple days. By the time I got tested, I was already starting to feel a lot better. And, I've had a little bit maybe of a mild cough here and there that won't go away, that's been lingering. But besides that, I feel fine, feel great, feel healthy and strong. But it makes me also grateful to have an online business. It makes me so grateful that all those times I was stuck or frustrated or felt like quitting. Let me know in the comments if you ever felt like quitting on your business, quitting on your goals, quitting on your dreams. It's okay. I've been there, but I'm so grateful I kept going and I stayed the course, baby. So anyway, smash the heart button if you're excited to be alive and healthy and have an online business. I know I am, and I know all of you are probably as well. I'm also going to give away some 90-day trackers because I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. This is my last video. This is my last live video, most likely, unless I go live again tonight, which I'm not planning on it. This is going to be my last video in my 30s. In my 30s, I turn 40 tomorrow. I can't believe it. So I'm going to be extra generous. We're going to give away some 90-day trackers. We'll give away some ATM business academies. We'll give away some video and branding academies maybe. So those of you that are sharing, that are tagging people, let us know in the comments and I'll randomly pick some winners throughout. In fact, we're going to have Talena Anderson. She's going to be our first winner. Oops. Talena, I just saw her sharing and tagging. Anyway, I lost the message, but or the comment. I saw her sharing and tagging, and then it vanished as soon as I went to click on it. Let's pull it back up. It's gone. There it is. Okay, so Talena Anderson, you will be the first winner. Send an email to our support team, support@mylifestyleacademy.com, and we'll send you cash or an academy or a tracker. You just let us know. What do you want? You want cash money? You want an academy? You want a tracker? We'll send you one of the above. It's always tough because some of you have won some of this stuff in the past, or you purchased some of this stuff in the past. So maybe you already have all of the above, but hey, you could run a contest for your team and give away some trackers or give away an academy, whatever. So last video in my 30s. It's pretty crazy. I'll be 40 tomorrow. Can't believe it. but I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all of you. I'm so grateful for my health, and I'm so grateful to have an online business. I'm sure all of us can appreciate and relate to that conversation. But really, the first thing I want to ask you, what does it mean to be stuck? What does it mean? In fact, I would like to ask you, because I would like to have some clarity. Do you feel that you're stuck in your business, stuck in your mentality, or you may be stuck at a rank? Because some of you might just be wasting time doing the wrong ish. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just wasting time on the wrong ish. So we can really have a conversation. And I think, it's tough. It's tough because one person is stuck because they're not doing the work, while someone else is stuck. They're doing the work, but they're not working on themselves. Someone else thinks they're stuck, but they're actually way ahead of most people. Like there are days, believe it or not, there are days when I feel stuck. There are days where I have those limiting beliefs seep into my dome, where I start to question my worthiness. And guys, I'm not trying to be braggadocious, but we make over $200,000 a month, all right? So it's not like we need the money. We're never in a situation, or at least we haven't been for years, where we've been in a situation where we need the money, or we're not able to pay our bills or take care of things that need to be taken care of. But there's still some days where I even have those limiting beliefs, where I start to question, what am I doing? Am I qualified to be doing what I'm doing? What should I be doing today? Why is my business not where I want it to be? And it's interesting. And I was telling Nadya this because we were watching that show, Billions, kind of a crazy show. I'm sure some of you have heard of it, maybe even seen it. But it's just interesting. The guy's worth billions of dollars, and he's making hundreds of millions of dollars in he's like owns a stockbroker. What do you call that? A stock brokerage. And the guy is just he's literally a billionaire. And still, in the very first season, we've only watched a handful of episodes, but he's got to go out and buy this elaborate $83 million home when he knows that he hasn't really been completely lawful, right? He's done some things that are borderline straight up illegal, and him buying that home is basically him saying, "Hi, come arrest me. I'm doing bad things with my money," right? And it's him, being too flagrant. It's him showing off. It's him. So anyway, the point is, this guy has all the money in the world, doesn't need to buy that home. Why does he do it? Because people are crazy, man. That's why. So even when you're doing really, really well, there's a different level of fear. There's a different type of just stinking thinking that you experience. So we're all going to have this happen at one point or another. Whether you're making no money, you're broke as a joke, which I've been there. I was broke for many, many, many years, which is part of the reason, by the way, I have so much motivation, because I never want to go back to that. And I think the first question I would ask all of you is, why did you get started, right? What was the reason you started a home business in the first place? Because for me, what's always kept me motivated, because people ask me, like, how are you still so motivated with the money you're making, the success you've had? And I think a big part of it is, number one, I never forget where I came from. I remember what it's like to struggle. I remember what it's like to lack and, not know if I can pay my bills, and not be able to go on the vacations, and have debt up to my eyeballs, and just all the things that come with not having money. And it's interesting because sometimes people think, it's all about money and you're money motivated, but that's not the deal. That's not the deal. I was more money motivated when I didn't have money. You start to make money, and then you go, you know what? It's not about making money. It's about being smarter. It's about, finding systems and strategies so that I can make more with less effort, with less stress, with less like tedious hands-on type work. Does that make sense? Like, I remember when I was doing all those home meetings and I was like, there's got to be a better way. When I was doing all those three-way calls, I thought there's got to be a better way. And that's why I went balls to the wall with social media. That's why I went full bore. Like, I had to learn how to use social media to create systems and processes so that when I onboarded a new person, when I enrolled a new person, I could look them in the eye and say, I got something for you. I've got a way for you to become debt-free. I've got a way for you to create success. I've got a system in place where Even if you just want to make an extra $500 a month and you're not looking to make a whole lot of money, like you can do this working part-time. Like I needed to believe in something again. And I think some of you, the reason you feel stuck in your mentality, in your business, maybe you forgot why you got started. Maybe you've lost that hunger and that drive that you had when you first got started. In fact, I'd like to know in the comments, why did you first get started in network marketing? And how long have you been in network marketing? How long have you been in network marketing at this point? Because I think some of us, it's not just working harder, it's working smarter. It's becoming more efficient and more effective with our time because you got to protect your energy. You got to protect your time. And here's what I mean by that. I found myself, because look, I love talking to people. I really do. Especially when I find someone that's like speaking my language, like a cool person, right? And it's interesting, when I got network marketing, I remember thinking, this is something that if you're cool and you like people, like you can make money. And I had never seen anything like network marketing. When I first came to a network marketing meeting 19 years ago, I had never heard of network marketing. I'd never been in sales. Like I knew nothing about business, entrepreneurship, zilch, nada, nothing. How many of us can relate to this? So when I saw it, I got so excited. I got so excited about the potential, and I felt like this was something fun. This is something I could get excited about, and that excitement was contagious. Some people say they are excited. Tell your face, right? Like smile, do some live videos. When you're recording, or when you're messaging people, record your voice so they can hear your tonality and enthusiasm, because people follow strength, not weakness. People follow excitement and passion. And I think it's so important that we find our passion. We start showing up differently. We hold ourselves accountable. Because if we hold ourselves accountable, we show up every single day, we develop habits. We develop daily disciplines. So we're developing these disciplines, right? Maybe it's waking up earlier. Maybe it's getting better at marketing on social media. Maybe it's we stop selling and pitching. We start marketing and teaching. And we just start to develop these skills while we're developing ourselves. And I didn't know how much I needed personal development. Smash the heart button if you realized early on, like, I need to work on myself. And I think that's the hard part about network marketing. We have to really take a good look at ourselves, and we have to size ourselves up. Now, you got to give yourself grace. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. But I think we can be honest. If we were to look at the top earners, the top people in our network marketing company, and I want you to think about those people right now, maybe write down a couple of those individuals. How do they show up differently than you? What is their character like? Are they a person of integrity? Are they a person that if they say they're going to do something, they do it? Do they show up with enthusiasm? Do they love what they do? And if you start thinking of those attributes and you think about yourself, do you have those same attributes? Are they great communicators? Are they great relationship builders? Are they massively consistent, like crazy, insanely consistent, right? They're showing up in the team chats. They're leading by example. They're ATMing their face off. They're doing the things even when they don't feel like doing the things. How many of us, when you're like not in the mood, you take the day off? You don't post on social media. You don't do any follow-ups. You're like, I'm my own boss, and today I'm taking the day off. Now listen, once in a while, you got to take a step back. Like I got to tell you, it's been hard for me the last week, taking a step back from social media, not working my business like I'm used to, because I got COVID and I was like, hey, I'm going to take it easy. Some people said the symptoms can come back or they can linger, and I have been sick in the past. Like, I remember a couple years ago, I got sick and I decided that I was just going to push through, and I actually got sicker. I'm pretty sure I got a lot sicker than I would have if I would have just taken a couple days off. This was a couple years ago. So ever since then, I vowed to myself as I've gotten older that I'm not going to just push through a sickness. I'm going to take it easy and relax. In fact, I remember last year on our company escape trip, like I was sick up until like 2 days before we had an escape trip, and I decided to work out. I hit the gym for like 2 hours. The next day I started feeling like crap again, and then I had to hop on an airplane the next day, and I lost my voice, literally lost my voice. I don't know how many of you were on that escape trip and you remember I had no voice. I couldn't talk to anybody, which is tough when you have an online business and you're constantly like working with people online. So when you get to finally hang out with them in person, the last thing you want to do is is be with people, but you can't talk to people. You know what I'm saying? And then this past week, this is even crazier. This past week when I got COVID, of course, we were supposed to do a team retreat. So it was even worse than last year, where last year I couldn't talk to anybody. I remember the only day I felt okay and I actually had a little bit of a voice was the day that we won the volleyball tournament. I kid you not, that day, for whatever reason, I felt pretty good, but the entire rest of the trip, I literally had no voice. It was crazy. By the end of the night, I couldn't whisper. I had no voice. And then this past week, I was supposed to go to Destin, Florida with a handful of leaders that qualified for a retreat, and I couldn't go because of stupid COVID. So I understand that sometimes you got to take a step back. You got to take your foot off the gas, take a day off, take a weekend off. I know some leaders, they'll take off all of Sunday or they take off the whole, Saturday, Sunday, whatever it is. You got to figure out what you want your schedule to look like. But I also think it's very important that we treat our business like a job. We treat our business like a job. And here's what I mean by that. If you had a high paying job, okay, let's say, I don't know, you're a lawyer. If you didn't show up for work or you weren't performing, you weren't producing, would that law firm continue to pay you? Right? Or even if you were a bartender and you're making, I don't know, $500 a week, you're a freaking bartender making a couple $1,000s a month. Would you agree if you didn't show up for work one day, if you just decided, I'm not going in, I don't feel like it, how long would that bar or restaurant keep you on? Would you agree at some point they're probably going to go, you're late all the time. You don't seem like you want to be here. You're calling out sick all the time. Would you agree you would lose that job? And that's building someone else's dream. That's building someone else's business. So sometimes we have to treat our business, our network marketing business, like a job. And the whole, you're stuck. Stop giving energy to that conversation. Stop giving life to that conversation. And I see, oh man, I was just going to pick a winner and it keeps, whenever I put my cursor over on the comments to choose someone, that's when it starts going crazy again. Because it'll freeze for a little bit. I lost the person. So those of you that are tagging and sharing, let me know. You're going to win some cash money. Let's pick Tracy Holland. So Tracy, send an email to our support team, support@mylifestyleacademy.com, support@mylifestyleacademy.com. And you can either win one of our 90-day trackers. This would be really good to help all of you get unstuck and hold you accountable and your feet to the fire for 90 freaking days. There's literally accountability in here. There's brainstorming, daily activities, like everything you would need, monthly check-ins, to keep track, and that's another thing, keeping track of your numbers. Like, someone tells me they're stuck and I'm like, okay, how many people did you ATM this week? How many group chats did you do this week? How many people did you get on the Saturday team call? How many people did you enroll this week? How many new customers? How many referral posts did you have go up this week? And either they say they don't know, which means they're not treating it like a business. They're treating it like a hobby. And I love this quote. You want a filet mignon lifestyle, but you got hot dog habits. So let's start tracking our not just our personal activity, but also what are your numbers like on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis? Like I take a screenshot every night of my volume. Why? Because I want to know how much volume we did for the last 24 hours. Now, you might say, well, John, my team isn't that big yet. I'm not at that point. How do you think I got here? How do you think I got here? Do you think I started tracking my numbers after we started killing it? Do you think I started tracking my follow-ups after we started doing well? Do you think I developed disciplines and daily routines after I started making a lot of money? The answer is obvious, but just in case it's not, the answer is no. I started with that mentality when I was part-time. If you can't build your business part-time, you ain't never going to be full-time. The whole well, if I was full-time. No, that's not true, because in network marketing, it's a team effort. If you can't build a team that is leveraging your time, because even if you say, well, John, I'm part-time. Yeah, but do you have some people on your team? If you've got 10 people on your team, that's 11 people responsible for your income. This is now becoming a full-time business as you start to enroll other people on your team. And it might not necessarily be creating a full-time income yet, That's the key word, yet. But you're building the foundation. It's like building a home. You got to lay the foundation first, brick by brick. Every customer, every new distributor, every single person that you're bringing into your business. A lot of them are going to be part-time. A lot of them are not going to be, all in, super serious. Like, they're not going to watch a video like this. They're not going to be reading the books. They're not going to the company events. Like, they're not that serious. So when you find someone that is serious, you got to be super grateful, super grateful. Look, in my first year in network marketing, I spent more than I made. In fact, I would say the first few years in network marketing, because I was in a company for a couple years, and then that one went out of business. So then we kind of went into this other company, and I never really consistently saw profits in those two companies. It was really one company, and we kind of just followed everyone into the next company. So I never really did much with that second company. We just kind of followed the team into it. But I spent more than I made those years. I was waiting tables on the weekends just so I could pay my bills. And I was still living at home with my freaking parents. So I wasn't like a baller in those first couple years. You follow me? And then I kind of got out of network marketing, started making real money in the mortgage industry when the market was great. And that was simply because I brought my work ethic to the table. I literally outcalled every single person in that company, meaning I made more outbound phone calls than every single human in that company for 3 years straight. First year, rookie of the year. Second year, number one loan officer. I made $250,000 at 24 years old. And when I first got the job, I told the guy, I don't even know what a mortgage is, because for some crazy, weird, bizarre reason, they don't teach you that in school. And my parents certainly didn't teach me anything about finances, except that I better have finances when I get older, because I saw what it was like growing up where your parents fight over money and they kind of live paycheck to paycheck, right? So the long and the short of it is, I realized real quickly that work ethic and determination can help you make a decent income. But if you want to make significant income, you got to leverage you. You got to leverage yourself. You have to create systems. You have to create a business that grows with or without your time and effort. So that's why if somebody says to me, oh, well, if I was full-time, listen, I built this part-time on and off for 7 years before I finally went full-time. And honestly, even when I went full-time, we still didn't have a super consistent income. Now, I was in a totally different business back then. Social media wasn't really a thing. I fired my boss in 2008. So I don't think I started using social media till like aggressively and consistently till about 2013, when I started doing videos and I started learning attraction marketing. All right. So anyway, I could go on a rant about this stuff all day long, but when is enough enough? How serious are you about getting unstuck? And let's really evaluate, what are we doing every day? What are we putting time and effort into? And when do we want to make the decision that we're going to treat this like a business and not a hobby? We're going to start tracking our numbers. We're going to start paying attention to what our business looks like on a day-to-day, weekly, and monthly basis. And eventually you can look at it on an annual basis. Just like any other business. Just like the guy that owns a restaurant, he tracks his numbers, right? He treats it like a business. Why? Because he invested a fortune to start it. He's got overhead to run the business. In network marketing, we can make just as much money as the owner of a restaurant, or any business for that matter, without all the risks, without all the responsibility. Anyway, let me get back to it. So remember why you got started in the first place. Stop with the expectations and stop putting so much pressure on yourself. I want you to put some pressure on yourself to get better and perform and do the work every day, but don't get yourself in a situation where you're beating yourself up. How many of us know that sometimes our self-talk is just straight up nasty, and that if somebody said the things we say to ourselves, if somebody said those things to us, we would slap the taste out of their mouth? How many of us know exactly what I'm talking about? There are some days where you just beat yourself up so much, and what good does that do you? What good does that do you? Anyway, so first thing is, I want you to focus on the law of inertia. How many of us are familiar with the law of inertia? A body at rest tends to stay A body at rest tends to stay at rest, and a body in motion tends to stay in motion. So let me give you an example. How many of you are like, I really need to work out, but you don't feel like working out? What I want you to do is just work out for 5 minutes. Watch what happens. You start working out for 5 minutes, breaking a sweat, and you're like, all right, maybe I'll be in here for like 15 minutes, and then it's 30 minutes, and then an hour, and all of a sudden you're in there for an hour and a half, and you feel good. It's the same thing with ATMing, sending out prospecting messages, right? Doing your power hours, whatever it is, right? Doing your follow-ups. You just say, I'm going to follow up with 5 or 10 customers. I'm going to follow up with 5 or 10 people that I ATM real quick. I'm just going to sit down and get it done. And it's interesting how that law of inertia kicks in. A body at rest tends to stay at rest. A body in motion tends to stay in motion. So you got to just start getting back into motion if you're stuck. Create small wins, little things like every day I wake up, I make the bed in the morning. Even if I don't feel like it, like at this point, it's a habit. I feel weird if I don't make the bed. There's just little things that I know I got to do every single day, right? I take my nutrition every day. I feel off if I don't take my nutrition. Almost every morning, Nadya, she's making me drink that celery juice. At this point, I feel weird if I don't drink celery juice when I first wake up in the morning. Are you guys getting it? Right? Think about it. Like if you don't shower for the day, don't you feel dirty? Don't you feel bad? Right? Aren't there just some things where like if you don't do that thing, you feel off, right? Because it's become a habit. Now there's good habits and bad habits. I'm just talking about the good habits. Start creating small wins. Even if you add some things to your to-do list where you're like, why would I even put that on my to-do list? Right? Why would I even put that as a reminder in my phone? Because sometimes it's good just to have something you can check the box. How many of you are like me? Sometimes I just want to check the box. I just want to have that reminder pop up because I know I'm going to do it, and then I can cross it off. All right. Number 3, avoid distractions and negativity, especially during your power hours, especially when you're putting forth effort in your business. Like you need to have that undivided attention where nobody can mess with you, no distractions. I know some of us have kids and pets and whatever. We have our spouse that can drive us crazy, right? You got to say, listen, honey, love ya, but I need 60 minutes. I need 90 minutes. I need you to leave me alone. Go entertain the kids. This is me time. This is my time to move my business forward. I need you to shush. Anyway, number 4, join a challenge, right? Join a video challenge or do a challenge with your team. Hire a coach. Maybe you invest in a course, like investing in yourself or making a commitment, doing something for 7 days, 14 days, doing something uncomfortable, something that's going to hold your feet to the fire. I've got some teams, they're doing these like these weekly, what do you call it? Like they're like a hangout, like a Zoom hangout. Right? I've got some teams, they're doing daily power hours together and nobody's really talking, right? They're just working together at the same time, all on Zoom. So find things that you can do with your team. You could do this with sideline. Doesn't always have to be your upline or downline. You grab some sideline partners, do some challenges together. Maybe you do a 7-day Facebook story challenge. Maybe you do a challenge inside of your ATM group. For 7 days, you do a water challenge or a no sugar challenge. Like you can find something to stretch yourself, stretch your customers, stretch your network, your audience, your team. Find something that you're going to get commitment from your people, or you're going to commit yourself. You hire a coach, you invest $10,000 in a coach, or you invest $500 in a course. I guarantee you're going to have more motivation. I guarantee you're going to have more of a commitment because now you're investing. You're investing the money. You're investing the time. Come up with something creative. Get with your leaders. I'm sure you could put together a plan of attack for a challenge, something and the reason I have to kind of go in some different directions here, because I know some of you have a team some of you have no team, some of you are in network marketing, some of you are not in network marketing. I'm just trying to give you some different ideas because I know when I joined like a top level mastermind, or when I bought that $500 course, or when I committed to this challenge, or I knew I was going to this event, like it made me uncomfortable. So that's how I knew growth was on the other side of it. Growth is on the other side of discomfort. Number 5, sometimes, you know what you got to do? You got to get back to basics. You got to get back to basics. You have got to get back to basics. You got to do what you did in the beginning. And maybe you never did those things. Maybe in the beginning, you were totally uncoachable. Maybe in the beginning, you didn't ATM your face off. Maybe you didn't do a live video unboxing your new products. Maybe you didn't do group chats with your prospects because you didn't know how to do it, or you used to do it old school and now you're learning this whole new school way of doing things and it's uncomfortable. You got to master the mundane. You have got to master the mundane. In a business like this, you cannot overcomplicate this. You cannot overcomplicate a very simple business. I think the reason I've done so well is I don't overcomplicate it. Someone says they're interested, I add them to the groups, the same groups I've been adding them to the entire time I've been doing the ATM system. I tag them in the same videos. I set up a group chat so they can meet some other people. And I think I actually developed that simple process for myself when I was building offline. Back in the offline days, you invite someone to a home meeting, they sit through the presentation, whether they joined or they're thinking about joining, the next step was always to get them to the Saturday training, because that way they were trained if they joined. You see? That way, if they decided to get started, now they're trained. So if they joined, they came to the Saturday training. If they were on the fence, they came to the Saturday training. So I got so good at just mastering the mundane and just focusing on the basics. And then I just duplicated it. I taught everybody these simple steps because I realized real quick that if it's complicated, confused people do nothing. How many of us can relate to this? Terry, ATM is add tag message. So when someone says they're interested, I add them to a group, I tag them in a video, and I send them a follow-up message. Hey, Veronica, I added you to this group. There's a really short video. It's about 13 minutes that I want you to watch. Let me know when you have time to watch it. And tomorrow when I follow up with you, I'm going to introduce you to some of my business partners. It's the same thing every single freaking time. And when someone's struggling with recruiting, I'm like, how many people did you introduce to your upline this week? It's either none. It's either none, or they're just doing it all wrong, right? They're putting people in a group chat before they even expressed interest. There's a possibility that the person doesn't have a really great network, or they're having to build up their communication skills. Like some of us, and I heard this from Eric Worre years ago. He said he got it from someone else, but I heard it from him. And he said, you will be punished or rewarded. You will be punished or rewarded based on the life you led prior to getting involved in network marketing. So some of us, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of credibility. We don't have a great network. We're not a great communicator. We're not a leader. We're not someone of influence. But guess what? Everyone starts that way. I started that way in 2001. You're starting that way in 2020. We all got to start somewhere. Most people don't start in a business like this or stick with it because they're too embarrassed to start small. They're too embarrassed to start small. So Brandy, you're going to be our next winner. Those of you that are tagging people, you're sharing the broadcast, let me know in the comments. I'm just randomly giving away cash. I'm giving away 90-day trackers. If you want to go on a 90-day run, this is the greatest physical resource we've ever created. I'm also giving away some ATM business academies. For those of you that don't have our ATM business academy and you're in another network marketing company, I would highly recommend you check it out. But those of you that are sharing and tagging people, I'm randomly picking winners, giving away cash, giving away academies, giving away 90-day trackers. All right. So keep sharing, keep tagging people. And I hope you're getting some value from this. If you are getting value, smash that heart button and let's keep going. So number 6, and this is important. If you're stuck, help someone else. The best thing you can do to help yourself is help others. Whenever I feel stuck, whenever I feel like I'm not in a great space, like I don't have great energy, I'm just not feeling it, right? If that ever happens, it's typically because I'm focused on me. I'm focused on myself. I'm being selfish. I'm not focusing on helping others. And I think the sooner you grasp this, the sooner you understand it's not about you. The reason I've been so successful, in my humble opinion, it's because obviously consistency, work ethic, relentlessness, all the things that are most important to be successful. But I think the biggest thing is we always have this giver's mindset. We're such givers. Myself, Nadya, we're always giving value. I'm responsive as all get out. My inbox is ridiculous. And I do my best job to respond to every group chat that I'm put in. Every person reaches out to me. There are times where maybe, I don't respond. I miss a message. It gets buried in my inbox. Maybe I respond days later. I do my best. I'm only human, right? Luckily, I have my virtual team that helps me out as well with my inbox. But as you can imagine, when you build up a large team, right, and you create massive results, you're also going to have a massive responsibility that coincides with that. So the bigger the paycheck, the bigger the problems, the bigger the challenges. And, I have to say that's probably been my strong suit. Is I'm like a firefighter. I'm a problem solver. The one thing that I've gotten really good at over the years is finding ways to solve problems, help people with their problems. They got a challenge. I step in, I step up, I do whatever I can to steer them in the right direction or give them the advice, or, they're having trouble with it's a customer service issue. Like, I'm putting them in touch with the right person to get that problem solved. Like, I want to do whatever I can do to help my team, help my people. And I think that mentality is so important when you're building a business like this. The worst kind of leader is a selfish leader, where it's all about them. They always have to get recognized. They always have to get, everything has to be about them. They always have to get the spotlight. And I think the sooner you realize that it's not about you, and that it's actually about giving others the spotlight, and it's highlighting them, and it's putting them on a pedestal, it's recognizing what you want repeated. Someone's doing the work, highlight that person, edify that person, give them a shout out. It does two things. One, it motivates them to keep doing it. Number two, think about all the people that want that recognition. They want that edification. So they're like, okay, I got to do what they're doing so I can get recognized like this person's getting recognized. So make it about helping other people. And by the way, it doesn't always have to be that it's, I'm helping someone, in my business. Sometimes it's helping a stranger. Sometimes it's helping, just encourage somebody, right? Like, a lot of the people in our team chats, they'll ask for support. They'll ask for love and engagement, like drop some love, drop some engagement on my post. We'll do that because it's just helping someone else. It's making them feel good. It's, bumping up the post so it gets more exposure in the news feed. Sometimes people will reach out and ask, in the team chat, they'll say, hey, I have a question about this, or what do you do when someone has, this health issue? Like, which product would you recommend? And, you'll see someone jump in there and answer the question, and that person is on a different team, but because everybody wants to help everybody. And that was when I first started building my team, especially in the company I'm in right now, and we were heavily relying on social media. I wanted to create a culture where everybody wanted to help everybody. And there was sideline, brother and sisterhood and support and this team camaraderie, because I knew that one of my limitations is that I'm not like the best at all the things. Like, I might enroll someone that I love working with, but I'm just one person, and, maybe they want to do a challenge, or maybe they want to do something with their team. And, I can't be the end all be all for everyone in every situation. Doesn't matter. You can work on yourself and develop yourself and become the greatest leader in your network marketing company. But at some point you're going to reach that point of, like, just being maxed out on what you can do and how available you can be, right? You can't do trainings for every team all the time. Like, and you know what? The thing is, people need variety. Like, I love having different leaders on the team step up and do different trainings on different topics. Like, I actually encourage the heck out of that. And I think it just creates this energy, this different culture, if you will, where everybody wants to help everybody, and somebody comes up with a strategy that's working. They can't wait to go live and share it in the team Facebook group or in the team chat, because someone at some point helped them that didn't have any financial attachment to them. So they wanted to give back, and it's just created this giving mentality. So it hasn't just been, myself and Nadya, but all of our upline, downline leaders, sideline, they all just want to love on each other, encourage each other, provide ideas and tips and mastermind together. Like, that's the culture I wanted to create. So it starts with you. It starts with you helping people, whether they're on your team or not. Whether it's someone you know or don't know, just start freaking helping other people. If you're stuck, it's because you're stuck in your own head and you're making it about you. And you're so worried to speak up and help someone else because you're selfish. And you can help other people. You have a miracle in your mouth. And people need to hear your story, your perspective. They need to hear your voice. Anyway, I'm going on a rant here. But you get my point, right? You get the gist. You're picking up what I'm putting down? Number 7, you need to develop a vision for yourself. Because a vision for your business, for your future, for your life? What do you want life to look like? How many of you have a dream board? If you don't, you need one. Do you have a vision for who you want to become? Because you've got to have passion, but you can't have a passion for something if you don't have a vision for who you want to become and what you want to accomplish and what you want your life to look like. I think the reason I'm so disciplined and the reason I show up like I do is because I have so much gratitude for my business, for the people I work with, for what I wanted to. Like, I put so much time and effort into my business in the early years and didn't really see the fruit. It took me 16 years to get to 6 figures a month. And 15 years in, my network marketing company went out of business. The company I was in went out of business. The one before that sued me for $2.5 million. They sued Nadya and I when we left. They came after us legally because they said we were cross-recruiting and sharing trade secrets. To this day, I still don't know what that means, but I digress. We've been through the ringer. But what kept us going? It's my passion for helping people. It's my passion for seeing other people win. And once I found out what I was like good at and what I loved doing, and just became a thing that like I became addicted to, it became obsessed with. I mean, any successful person, they are obsessed. They are so passionate about what they do and how they're making an impact that like it's hard for them to put their phone down. It's hard for them to turn it off. Just like this last week that I've had COVID, right? It was hard for me to shut it down. It was tough too because I was feeling good. Through most of it, I've been feeling good, but I was still like, I don't want to chance it. I don't want to push myself. Like, I haven't worked out in a week. Like, I didn't want to push myself. Number one, I didn't want to get sick again. Number two, I knew that was probably God telling me, chill out. Because, the thing is, I didn't tell the full story. My son, he had his last baseball game 2 Thursdays ago. Now, he was supposed to have a tournament that weekend in Virginia, but because there was some bad weather that came through Friday night, it ruined the fields for Saturday. So luckily, I was literally 15 minutes into the drive down to Virginia, and we got a message that even though it was super sunny and nice out, that we're going to have to turn around and come home because the tournament is canceled. And at the time, I was like, this is so annoying. Your last baseball tournament. The weekend before that, we flew down to North Carolina. That tournament was canceled. And these are perfect game tournaments. And those of you that know travel baseball, perfect game tournaments are like the end all be all for travel baseball. Like, those are the top of the top when it comes to, tournaments that and my son's baseball team is in the top 100 in the nation. Like, they're really good. So they typically win those tournaments. Like, they're the number 1 team in Maryland, one of the top 100 in the entire country. Like, they're a really good team. And those are really, really awesome, exciting tournaments with the best competition. And not only did North Carolina get canceled, but Virginia got canceled. But isn't it interesting that at the time I didn't know it, but I'm pretty sure I had COVID at that point on Saturday when we turned around. And sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. Sometimes God is literally redirected us back home. And that Sunday I felt super sick. Monday I felt super sick. So if I would have gone to Virginia, not only could I have spread the virus, but more importantly, I would have been sick on Sunday down in Virginia. Like, that would have sucked, right? I'm like feeling like, I didn't have any energy. The real issue was I had no energy. I felt like just fatigued. I felt weak, when you're sick, and and then I would have to drive back 2.5 hours after the tournament. Like, I'm just really glad that things worked out the way they did. And pretty much his entire baseball tournament, not one person on the team got COVID. The entire season, we started playing, I think we were off like obviously March and April. May, we started doing practices. June, they started playing games. So June, July, August, September, October. So basically for 5 months, no issues with COVID. So I was of course, the first parent to get COVID. And luckily, again, that tournament canceled. So it was literally God's redirection. And somebody asked me, everybody asks me this. I don't know why I said somebody. Everybody kept asking me, where do you think you got it? I'm pretty sure I got it. Now, this is the irony. Those of you that were following our stories on Thursday, we went to Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. We actually went there Wednesday night. So we drove down to Baltimore Wednesday night. I live about 40 minutes from Baltimore. So we drove down there Wednesday night, stayed the night in a hotel, which technically I could have got it there, but I'm pretty sure I got it at Johns Hopkins because we were there all day Thursday. We did this full body assessment. It's like, physical. I mean, women can do mammograms, x-rays, like you do everything. So instead of doing like all these individual appointments, a physical, skin, they check your skin for spots, all these things, decided to just do it. It's like called this like executive prevention package. So we were there literally all day, and I'm pretty sure that's where I picked it up. I'm pretty sure, because I wasn't around people really any other time but there. So I'm pretty sure that's where I got it. So the irony is I went to the hospital for prevention purposes, and of course I pick up freaking COVID. So with that being said, everything happens for a reason. Sometimes you're not meant to have the success you desire because, number one, you don't deserve it yet. You desire it, but you don't deserve it. Number two, it's a redirection. Like, I'm so thankful that things didn't work out for my last company. Yeah, at the time, when the company got shut down by the FTC, I wasn't like, yay, this is super news. Can't wait to start all over again. No, I wasn't like that. I was pissed, right? I just put 7,000 people in this company in 2 years, company called Vima, and they get shut down by the FTC. But it was the greatest blessing in disguise. Why? Because if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be in the company I'm in today. And I wouldn't have been a top 100 income earner in the entire network marketing industry. And I wouldn't have built, one of the most incredible network marketing teams that I've ever seen in all of network marketing with some of the most amazing leaders. 85% of our revenue comes from customers. 85%. We did over 30 million in sales in the last 6 months. I mean, the momentum and growth that we've experienced the last 6 months, I mean, I'm so grateful. In fact, what's crazy is if this whole COVID thing would have happened 10 years ago, what would all of us have done? If you really think about it, none of us were using social media in 2010. A lot of us didn't even have, the technology or or let's say 2000. When did I get my smartphone? Yeah, that's true. I didn't even get a smartphone until 2012, y'all. You know how I know this? Because my email account, I set it up, a Gmail account I set up in 2012. I kid you not, I did not have a smartphone until 2012. So if this would have happened in 2010, I didn't even have a smartphone. Like, you got to be grateful. So some of you, I know you're sad about COVID, or you're sad about, maybe you lost your job because of what's going on in the world. But could you also look at this as a blessing in disguise? Because it's forced you to step up and develop a new skill, develop new strategies, right? It's helped you maybe focus on your health, or maybe you're more focused on your family. Like, there are advantages to having a negative thing happen in your life. All right. So anyway, I hope you guys got value from this. I hope you're ready to start showing up differently. Hold yourself accountable. Develop these daily disciplines. All right. And remember the law of inertia. A body at rest tends to stay at rest, and a body in motion tends to stay in motion. So if you're stuck, your business isn't growing, you're not where you need to be or where you want to be, it's time to step it up, buttercup. Suck it up, buttercup. Who can you help? What challenge can you join? Maybe you start a challenge with your teammates. Maybe you hire a coach. Maybe you invest in that course you've been meaning to invest in. Some people say, well, I don't have the money. All the more reason to invest. The best time to invest in yourself is when you don't have the money, when it's scary. When you have all the money and you're crushing it and you're super profitable, right? You don't need that course as much. You don't need to hire the coach. You don't need to join that mastermind. You also got to avoid distractions. You got to avoid negative people. If you got someone peeing in your Cheerios, I know it's a gross analogy, but if you got someone peeing in your Cheerios, you got to tell them, shh, zip your lip. If you don't have a solution, then I don't need your opinion. Shush. Anyway, smash that heart button if you got some value. I'm also going to give away some more cash. I'm going to reward those of you that stayed on till the end. Maybe I'll give away one of our academies. Who's been sharing? Who's been tagging? I see a lot of you have been on the whole time. You guys are amazing. How about Tiffany? Tiffany Moore. Tiffany, you just won either our ATM Business Academy or our VIP Video Academy. VIP Video and Branding Academy. So let us know. Send us an email to support@mylifestyleacademy.com. Support@mylifestyleacademy.com. Did you guys have any questions? I know I covered a lot, and I was just rolling, baby. Why? Because I haven't done a video in a whole week. This is my last video of my 30s. This is the last video I will ever do in my 30s. Can you believe it? But yeah, I haven't done a live video all week. Man, I was missing you guys. I almost went live a couple times with COVID. Although I guess I still technically have it. I don't know. There's so many opinions. What's up, Deborah? Good to see you. Natasha says hashtag value. Charlotte says enjoyed this. Thank you. You're welcome. Tracy says congratulations, Tiffany. Tiffany, ATM Business Academy is money, but so is that branding academy. I think you might like that too. That's right, Natasha. 40 is the new 20. I'm looking forward to my 40s. My 30s were amazing, I will say. Yeah, if you want the 90-day tracker, you just go to mylifestyleacademy.com/tracker. mylifestyleacademy.com/tracker. How do you pick the right clients? How do you pick the right clients? I mean, depends on what you're selling, but a lot of times those right clients, they're out there. You just have to engage and interact with your audience, with your network. You got to have prospecting conversations every day. 5, 10, 15, 20 people. I look at it like I'm interviewing people. When I'm talking to people about my business, my products, I'm interviewing people to identify needs. I'm identifying hot buttons, like what do they need? And does my product solve their need? Does my opportunity solve their problem? Entrepreneurs are just professional problem solvers. Chris said, I was wondering what was up. Yeah, got the COVID. I'm surprised with all those baseball tournaments, all the traveling we've been doing. I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner, but finally happened. Just a matter of time. Joy says, how do I message people without spamming them? You know, I look at it like this. If we're friends on Facebook and I ask you if you're open to what we're doing, if you're open to looking, I mean, we're friends on Facebook, right? Or you follow me on Facebook or you follow me on Instagram. If we're connected, I don't feel bad asking you to take a look at what we're doing. You know, hey, Joy, how's it going? How's the family? It's been a while. How are things? What are you up to these days? A little back and forth, a little back and forth. Awesome. Listen, the reason I'm reaching out to you is because I partnered up with some amazing people because I wanted to pay off my debt. I wanted to fire my boss. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to help my spouse. I wanted to help my parents. I wanted to put my kids in private school. Always tell people why you're doing something. And I found something. I'm blown away. I'm working with some incredible humans, and I would love to share it with you if you're open. If not, no big deal. Kelly, if you'd really love the 90-day tracker, you can go to mylifestyleacademy.com/tracker. mylifestyleacademy.com/tracker. Katie says, first one watched live, loving this. Awesome. Renee, thank you. I appreciate that. I hope you have an amazingly awesome day and an even better year. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it, buddy. Good questions. I feel like I'm being too picky on who I want on my team. I ask everybody. Like, look, here's how I look at it. It's a little tricky for me because at this point we have a lot of people from other network marketing companies that follow us. But back in the day, when I first got started, I talked to everybody. And if I was just getting started, I would talk to every single person I'm friends with because I'm not going to, I mean, I understand like being picky, like I get it because some of us probably have like family and friends that we wouldn't want to work with, and I get it, but every dud knows a stud. Every dud knows a stud. Every single person on your list, on your friends list that follows you on IG, that you're connected with on social media, every person in your cell phone, they know 100, 200, 500, 1,000 people that you don't know. And I'm not God. I'm not going to determine whether or not someone needs my opportunity. I don't know. Now, if they're a negative Nancy, they're probably not open-minded anyway. If they're super high maintenance or there's someone that I don't like being around, well, then I don't even know why I'm friends with that person on Facebook in the first place. But sometimes, again, we get this analysis paralysis and we just completely overthink things. I look at it like this. I'm going to talk to 5, 10, 15, 20 people about my business every single day, whether it's the products or the company, 5, 10, 15, 20 people every single day. Now, the reason I say 5, 10, 15, 20, because I can't sit here and put my goals on you, but every single day I'm talking to people about my business. If I'm not talking to people about my business or products, then and here's the thing. There's no way my business is going to grow if I'm the only one responsible for my income. So in the beginning, I made sure I was talking to 15, 20, 30 people a day. But eventually, I got to a point where I was talking to 5, 10, 15, 20 people that were other people's prospects, right? Because we were doing home meetings back in the day. So I go to someone's home and they've got 7 guests in their living room. So I do a 45-minute presentation for 7 people that I didn't know an hour ago. Now with social media, I mean, you could have people ATMing 24/7. You can have people around the world. Like if you're in a company that's international, how many of you are in a company that's in multiple countries? You could have people in different cities, states, and countries literally ATMing people in different languages 24/7. It's a meeting that never ends. So back in the day, I'd have to drive to a meeting, drive to someone's home, physically do a presentation, right? Physically try to close the prospects because I was one of the only closers in the room, right? Once someone became a great closer, they were doing their own presentations. Now, because of technology, I mean, you probably have 300, 500, 700 friends on your Facebook right now, and they all know hundreds of people that you don't know. Every dud knows a stud. So I wouldn't be overly picky. Now, again, if someone's a negative Nancy, it's someone that's just, a drag to be around, like, I wouldn't even be friends with people like that. Like, just defriend them, unless it's like family. Makes sense? How did you get used to making so many calls as a mortgage broker? I think it just goes back to hunger, right? Desire. Like, I wanted to make 6 figures. The owner said, if you make 100 calls a day, you'll make 6 figures. And I didn't even know what a mortgage was. How much of your Facebook would you put business and lifestyle? How do you think stories are better for business than feed? Julie, great question. I still, same thing we've been teaching for years now is the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time it should be value. Actually, on my page, it's probably even more than that. You'll very rarely see us selling stuff, but I still think, you got to promote your products. You got to promote your business. I just think the problem is most people are either never promoting or they're promoting too much, right? So there's got to be more value than you ask in return. So you're depositing into your social equity, right? You got to look at your social media, your following, like a bank account. All your relationships like a bank account. So every interaction, every conversation, every positive, non-salesy conversation, every post that isn't you selling or pitching your thing, but it's valuable in nature, those are deposits into your bank account, into that relationship bank account, into your social equity bank account. Does that make sense? No, I actually didn't lose my sense of taste or smell. At least I don't think I did. Any more questions before we wrap this up? Oh, thank you. I'm excited to celebrate my B-Day. Stephanie says, shared this to my team. Such great info. Such great info. The most you, John. The most you? I met my best people through someone else. Tiffany, exactly. Some of my favorite humans were introduced to me by someone else. Stacy says, do you lead with the business or products? For me, I lead with the business, but mostly we teach people to lead with the products. It's easier to teach the new part-timer how to get some customers than it is to teach them how to go recruit 3, 4, 5 people. But it's easier to help them get 3, 4, 5 customers. But I tell people, listen, if you lead with the product, you should still say, hey, would you like to take a look at the business as well? So it's not a big deal to lead with the product, because when they say, yeah, I'd be open. Yeah, I'd like to check out the testimonials. Yeah, I'd like to watch a short video. Yeah, I'd like to be added to the group. You say, well, would you also like to take a look at the business? So even if you lead with the product, you should still ask them if they want to take a look at the business every single time, in my opinion. And Mary says, you breathing? I'm talking to you. Exactly. You stick a little mirror under their nose. If it fogs up, talk to them. Put your fingers right here on their neck or on their wrist. If you feel a pulse, ask them. Take a look. I mean, so what if someone wants to be on your team, but they can't follow simple directions? I mean, I wouldn't even know if they can follow directions until they join my team, because I haven't even plugged them into training yet, Nikki. So until they're on the team and they've been a part of the training, I don't really know if they can follow direction, because I wouldn't really give someone direction until they joined, right? I overthink it, then get in the overwhelm. Yeah, Julie. Hey, look, you're called human. We're all human. And this bad boy is always going to be in survival mode unless we reprogram our brain to be more abundant in nature and stop overthinking it and getting into this I have to know everything and understand everything and figure everything out before doing the work. It's like, I want to get good at a sport by thinking about it. No, you pick up the ball, you play the freaking game, and you're going to suck for a while. The difference with sports, though, is we're only playing with kids our age when we first start playing a sport, so everybody sucks. In business, it's tough because you start playing with a senior in high school. You start playing with a college freshman, and you feel like a loser because they're so much better than you, but they've been in school for a year, 5 years, 10 years. They're just ahead of you because they started before you. Does that make sense? Rachel says, how do you motivate your team? We have a whole blog post on this. This is a very common question, but the best way to motivate your team is to go out there and lead by example and focus on the people that are working. Focus on the people that are doing the stuff, because those are the ones you work with. Those are the ones you recognize. Those are the ones that you're showing off to the rest of the team, because when the rest of the team sees you spending time with these individuals, highlighting these individuals, these people are rank advancing, these people are winning, these people are doing the stuff, they're following the system, it's going to motivate the rest of the team. And if it doesn't motivate them, nothing will. Nothing will motivate them if that doesn't motivate them. And I'll tell you this, some people will say, well, no one on my team is doing anything. You need to build a new team. You're relying on your team to do the work. Again, it goes back to expectations. I don't expect my team to do anything. I just work with the ones that are doing the work. It's like, I get these people that are like, hey, can you help me? Can you coach me? And I'm like, no offense, but you've introduced me to 0 people. If you're not putting me in chats with people, I can't help you, right? So let's say someone's like on my 4th level, okay? And they reach out and they go, I want help, I want direction, I want coaching, whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm ready to coach you. Go ATM 10, 15, 20 people, start putting, me and some of your other uplines, start putting us in group chats so we can start working for you. There's nothing to coach you on. You don't have anything going on. Like, you know who I love coaching? My leaders, because they got stuff going on. They got a team. They built a team. Until you built a team, what can I coach you on? You have nobody on your freaking team, right? And then if someone's like, well, I got one team that's cranking. I'm like, how'd you get that team? And like, I ATM my face off. I recruited. I led by example. I went out and built that team. I'm like, do that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 20 more times, right? However you got that team, do the same thing to go build some other teams. Go build some other lines of business. That's right, Wendy. I'm not dragging anchors. Jack, if you don't know which groups to tag people in, get with your upline, and they can tell you exactly what groups. Like inside of our unit 1, inside of our team training group, it tells you exactly what groups to tag people in. So I would just get with the person that you're enrolled by. Twilla says, shared to my team. Awesome. Shared to my team chat. Awesome. That's right. You spend time with the ones that are working, Shauna. And I know a lot of you are in different companies. A lot of you have different compensation plans, but it's all still pretty much the same. If you build 20 teams, you're going to outproduce someone with 2 teams, right? That's just the way it is. If you have 20 teams, 20 lines of business, 20 personal enrollments, you're going to outproduce someone with 2 teams, 2 enrollments. And that's just the way it is. Mary says, I wouldn't recruit my family. I hear you. And, for me, it's like I would recruit my family if they wanted to build a business, if they were, if they had the desire, but I'm not going to try to convince them. Back in the day, every time I would hang out with my friends and family, I was always bringing up the business. It was like, how can I slide it in there? And I became that person that nobody wants to be around. And then we go, why don't people like network marketing? It's like, because of people like me, people that are completely ignorant to the fact that this isn't for everyone. Ellen says, I shared with my entire team. You rock. Yeah, 80-20, Mary. Yep. 80% of the time value, 20% of the time, maybe even 10% of the time, you mention your opportunity, you mention your products, you create some curiosity around it. You know, if you haven't read the book by Gary Vaynerchuk, Jab, Jab, Right Hook, I would highly recommend it. It's a little bit older, but it doesn't matter. That is a timeless classic on jab, 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 right hook, meaning value, 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 right hook. You know what I'm saying? Like, or uppercut. if if you want to outsell, out teach, out provide value, whoever provides the most value is going to win long term in network marketing. Period. End of story. And this isn't just network marketing. This is just being in business. If you're trying to crush it on social media, whoever has the most valuable content. In fact, look at it like this. You got these YouTubers, right? Where their channel might be them making slime or them unboxing products or, you know, kids playing video games, kids watching other kids play video games. They're getting paid. They're getting paid to make slime, literally by YouTube. If you have millions of subscribers, you're getting paid by YouTube. Or, you know, let's say you have a podcast and you're getting thousands and thousands of downloads. Eventually, companies will come to you and they will pay you to promote their products on your podcast, right? So it's providing value. It's showing up with your story, your enthusiasm, with tips, with ideas. Make them laugh, make them think, entertain them, right? Value. Now, everybody has a different definition of value. Your valuable content might be completely different than my valuable content, but you've got to build an audience. You've got to build a following, a network of humans that knows you. They like you. They love you. They follow you. They look for you for inspiration, for motivation, for ideas, for tips, right? Whatever it is. And when you're showing up consistently, and then once in a while you offer a product, an opportunity, you offer your 90-day tracker, right? There's going to be a percentage that buys. There's going to be a percentage that reaches out and they go, you know what? I love your free content. Do you provide coaching? Do you offer any services? Do you have a book? Do you have a course? Make sense? And when you make an offer, a percentage of that audience is going to buy from you because they trust you and they go, your free stuff is so good. And they tune into your free stuff that when you have something to sell, there's a likelihood of them buying your MLM products, joining your MLM team, whatever it is. Anyway, this has been well over an hour. I hope you guys got a ton of value because I didn't go live last Monday and it's my last live video of my 30s. I figured I would really over deliver today. Hope you got a ton of value. I hope you loved it. And I hope you go out there and absolutely crush the rest of 2020 because why not? What else are you going to do? Why not go out and absolutely body slam it and take all out massive action and get unstuck? There's nothing exciting about being stuck. And by the way, most of that is a mentality. It's a mindset. Stop giving energy and giving life to your stuckness. Embrace the suck. Don't be too embarrassed to start small. Get after it. You know what you got to do. And if you're not where you want to be and you're not sure what to do, find 3, 4, 5 of the top earners in your network marketing company and show up like them. Start to model their behavior, their social media content. Start to learn from them. Plug into them. Look, there's someone in your company that's winning. There's someone in your network marketing company that has built a magnificent business. Reach out to them. Ask them for tips. Ask them for help. And then, by the way, when they give you advice, when they share an idea, let them know that you're going to do the work and actually freaking do it, right? The easiest people to coach are the ones that actually do the work that we recommend. Those are the easiest people to work with. The ones that don't overcomplicate it, they do the work, they show up, right? Those are the ones we want to work with. As a leader, those are the ones we want to partner with. Those are the ones we want to pour into. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. If you want more training just like this, make sure you check out our website, mylifestyleacademy.com, mylifestyleacademy.com. And I'm out of here. We'll see you next Monday. Peace.